Nobody warns you about the man who stopped asking for permission. There's a specific kind of man who unsettles institutions, employers, even his own friends, not because he's loud, not because he's aggressive, but because he stopped needing anyone to explain the world to him. He built his own mind. Nobody built it for him. That single fact changes how he thinks, how he moves, and how impossible he becomes to manage. Most people don't notice this shift while it's happening. They notice it once it's already finished. By then, there's nothing left to control. Self-taught men are rare because the default setting for almost everyone is guidance. School tells you what matters. Culture tells you what to want. Work tells you how to behave. Most people outsource their thinking without ever clocking it, because dependency is easier, and the systems around them are built to make that dependency feel like normal life. A self-taught man breaks from that early, not out of rebellion, usually out of necessity. Nobody explained things properly, so he went and found the answers himself. And once a man learns to find answers on his own, he stops trusting anyone who only offers permission instead of information. Watch what happens the moment people notice this in him. From the outside, it reads as arrogance. It isn't. It's a man who got tired of waiting for a map nobody was ever going to hand him. Independent thinking is the second layer, and it's the one that actually makes him hard to manipulate. Manipulation runs on predictable triggers: approval, fear, guilt, social pressure. A man who built his own thinking doesn't process information the way a crowd does. He filters it. He questions the source before he questions the message. That's not paranoia. That's a habit built from years of being wrong in private and correcting himself with no audience watching. Independent thinkers don't reject advice. They just refuse to swallow it without evidence. This is exactly what makes him dangerous to anyone used to running the room. He'll sit in the meeting, nodding, saying nothing, not because he agrees, but because he already decided your argument doesn't hold, and he's not interested in convincing you otherwise. Then there's silent growth, the part almost everyone misses. Most growth today is loud, announced, posted, performed because performance gets validation, and validation gets mistaken for progress. A self-taught man doesn't work that way. His growth happens in rooms nobody's watching, late nights, failed attempts, a quiet obsession with getting something right when no one's keeping score. So when people finally clock the change in him, it feels sudden. It wasn't sudden. It was just invisible. And invisible growth is the most underestimated force in any room because nobody planned for it. Here's what makes it worse for everyone standing near him. He gets used to being misjudged. People assume he's still where he was a year ago. He lets them keep believing it. There's a strange kind of peace in being underestimated. It means nobody's watching close enough to interfere. Here's the part that actually unsettles people: he stops seeking validation. Not because he stopped caring about people, but because he already ran the experiment. He sought approval once. It never built him. His own repetition, his own correction, his own results did. So he detaches quietly, without any announcement, from needing anyone to confirm he's doing this right. That detachment is where his unpredictability comes from. You cannot control a man through praise or shame once neither one moves him anymore. That's the exact moment he stops being manageable. Not because he's cold, because he's finally indifferent to being misunderstood, and real indifference can't be bought back with attention. This is where internal authority replaces external approval. Most people build confidence from outside sources: titles, praise, comparison. A self-taught man builds his from evidence he collected alone. He knows exactly what he's capable of because he tested it without an audience to inflate or deflate the result. That kind of confidence doesn't need a mirror. It doesn't check the room for a reaction. And authority that depends on nobody else's opinion is authority nobody can revoke because nobody handed it to him in the first place. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Not violence, not aggression, just a man who no longer needs your permission to know his own worth, and that unsettles people faster than anger ever could. This is why self-taught men are rare, and why the rare ones make everyone around them uneasy. Not because they're loud, because they've quietly stripped out every lever anyone could ever pull on them. Approval, guilt, comparison, fear of judgment. They built their own floor to stand on. Once a man stops needing the room's permission to move, the room loses its grip on him permanently. That's not arrogance. That's a man who can no longer be managed. The people who saw this in someone before it was finished comment early. The rest of you are still catching up.